There's only one fight that I ever actually got into, and the guy goes, "You need to get the hell out of here." And I'm like, "I live 2 doors down. I can't do that." There's a literally girl like cowering up over here. This is crazy. It's just a weird scenario. And I go to put my arm on his shoulder, and he yanks his arm back, and I reflectively hold on, and it rips his sleeve off. And I was like, and then I reach with my left hand. I'm like, "Dude, let's just walk out. We're good." But I can't walk away. Like, I don't know what's happening here. And then he pulls back that arm, and it rips his other sleeve off. And I was like,
You're now rocking with the funny truth. Because it's better with a laugh. The truth is more appealing when it puts you on your ass. Keep it real, I will. Make it slap with the real. I feel like everybody got a cap, and I'm finna reveal it through a joke. The humor is the way that I provoke. It's the only way to get you to promote. So here we go. We getting serious now. It's the truth, but you know we gotta give you a smile. You know we gotta do that now. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. You're now rocking with the funny truth.
But like I visited Austin because my buddy was graduating from law school. Went up over there, ended up hanging out with Anthony, and he told me, he's like, "I told you about when I got punched in the face, right?" I was like, "Wait, what?" So he was hanging outside of one of the comedy clubs up over there. This old Indian homeless man walks up and he's like, and Anthony's eating just like a plate of food that he got or something from some spot. And the guy's like, "Let me get a bite of that." And Anthony's like,
swig.
Yeah, Anthony's like, "Dude, stop. Like, no, man." Like, and he's like, "Come on, give me a fucking bite," or whatever. And he's like, "Yo, chill out." And the guy just pops back and pops him in the face.
No way.
And I was like, "What'd you do? Beat the shit out of him?" He's like, "I was so stunned, I didn't do anything." I was like, "You're a pussy, dude."
No, but then get away, it's mine.
Yeah. Well. So then that guy like leaves, I guess, untarnished. Yeah. But Anthony was hanging out with a buddy. He used to be in the Coast Guard, and one of his buddies is now apparently private security for Mark Zuckerberg.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the guy also was in the Coast Guard, got out of it. Now he's doing private security for Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if it's a permanent thing or if it's like maybe he was in town, he works for a security agency. I don't know what the deal was. And the guy's like, "Yo, fuck that guy. Let's go find him." So then, they did what you did.
Real Liam Neeson shit.
Yeah, exactly. Then they started going around, or like the blocks. They found the guy, and they walk up to him, and the guy's like, "Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Like, dude, I'm fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry." And he's like, "All right, man, this guy's obviously, he's like schizophrenic. He's high off his mind, whatever." So they walk away. 5 minutes later, the homeless guy walks up and is like, "You're a fucking faggot, bitch." And so his buddy grabs him, just throws him up, yokes him against the wall, and then the guy goes, "Ah!" and then they have to like leave because there's like a fucking crowd forming.
Yeah, because you just beat up a homeless guy with no context.
Yeah, nobody knows that he just got decked in the face.
But he called me a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Earlier, then we went to find him. Oh, that's not good either.
The punch in the face, not cool, but you don't call me a faggot. This stuff's so stupid, dude. So stupid.
I'm okay with violence, but...
Yeah. Have you ever gotten in, like, legit fights? Like, schoolyard fight and then anything?
Oh, yeah, like, when I was a kid, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I did, like, sparring at the gyms, but I never... I usually stayed away from fights.
As
best as possible.
Well, that was same with me. There's only one fight that I ever actually got into, and it was when I was in Auburn. Me and my buddy were at a place called Sky Bar up over there. We just played pool. We came back around like 1:30 a.m. I lived, a couple blocks down. So he drives up, and I get out the car, and immediately I hear a crashing sound, and I see a door is open 2 doors down from mine. And I live in like what used to basically be a motel and is now just like a shitty studio apartments for like college students. Mm-hmm. The rent was like $380 a month. Like, super cheap.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was great. The bang for the buck was great.
Yeah.
But, like, my walls were, like, painted white cinder block walls.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could tell. Yeah, you could tell it was, like, literally cinder block. There's no drywall, nothing or whatever. But, so I hear that crash, and my buddy's still, like, parked there. So I walk across his car and, like, go up over to the room. And all I see is a silhouette of a dude with a girl in the back, and I see a flipped coffee table. And I was like, well, that's not good. So
that doesn't
right. It's super weird. So I like look to the right, and I mean all the units are the same, and I see a light, I flick it on, I was like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" And the guy goes, "You need to get the hell out of here." And I'm like, I live 2 doors down. I can't do that. There's literally a girl like fucking cowering up over here. This is crazy. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't expect any of this. And this is the only fight I've ever gotten into, because normally I'm like, I don't have shit to prove. But this is like, okay, I think this girl's in fucking danger right now. And so I was like, he's like, you need to get the hell out of here, mind your own fucking business. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna. I was like, dude, it looks like you're about to rape, so I can't do that, you know. And like I basically share walls with her, so it'd not be good night's sleep for me. And so I was like, hey man, let's go walk out. We're gonna close the door. It's all good, but I can't leave now. Like this is weird. This is very weird. I'm only like 21 or something like that too. It's just a weird scenario. And I go to put my arm on his shoulder, and he yanks his arm back, and I reflectively hold on, and it rips his sleeve off. And I was like, fuck.
You're like, oh, now I'm going to get into an
Yeah, this is great. This is great. And I was like, my bad, man. but
hey, man.
Yeah, hey, chill, dog, yeah. But and he like just like stares at me, and I'm like, look, man. And he's like a little bit smaller than me, but he was like a stocky little corn-fed Alabama boy.
He's smaller than you?
Yeah, no, he was shorter. Like I mean, he was like 5'8", 5'9". I'm
but he was
5'11".
just like a little tank?
Yeah, but he was a thick fucking dude. Like he looked like he grew up like, I don't know, wrestling, playing football as a kid, whatever.
Like from Nebraska or something.
Yeah, it's you see the guy. It's not like he's like intimidating, but you're like, I don't want to get in a fight. This is gonna be a real fight if this happens, you know. And so I do that. He pulls back, rips his sleeve, and I was like, my bad, man. And he's like, get the fuck out of it. I'm like, dude, I can't leave. Like this is super fucking weird. There's a coffee table on the ground, and I was like, and then I reached with my left hand. I'm like, dude, let's just walk out. Yeah. We're good, but I can't walk away. Like I don't know what's happening here. Mm-hmm. And then he pulls back that arm, and I reflexively, and it rips his other fucking sleeve off. And I was like, fuck. And then he just cocks back, slings, and I like duck.
I feel like the other sleeve ripping would like help the situation.
No, dude, it made it way worse. I was like, first in my mind, I'm like, what brand of T-shirt do you own, dude? Like, what the fuck? How shitty?
Hulk brand.
I was like, how fucking shitty are your T-shirts? And then he cocks back, swings, and he like starts lunging, and I just like it all happens super fucking quick. Because again, I've never even been in like a real fight, you know. And he's like lunging. I like kind of go down and I like pick him up, twist, and like slam him onto the couch that's to the side. And somehow or another flips around, and I take his back, and like I don't like, especially at that time, I didn't know anything about fighting or whatever. But I kind of got him in like a body lock, and I'm like holding him. And the thing that I always remember is that like, I'm not joking about any of this. This isn't embellished, nothing. Yeah. Is I put him into. I don't even know if I got him in like a rear naked choke. It was almost like a full Nelson. Maybe I had my arm around him. Yeah. And he goes, "What is this? Some fucking jujitsu?" I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know what's happening right now, dude.
This was instinct alone.
Yeah, dude. I was just like trying to prevent from getting hit in the face, like pretty much, because I was like, literally a minute and a half before, I was just going home to fall asleep. And I'm like holding on. He's like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't stop, man. Like I don't want to be doing this shit either."
You're just holding his bare arms.
Yeah, basically, like I'm just kind of like I got him in a lock that he can't get out of, basically. And he's like struggling, and he's like, "Yo, fuck this." And I was like, "Look, man, I'll let go, but you gotta walk the fuck out of the house." And he's like, "Oh, fuck it, whatever." But like finally, I'm like, "If I let go, you're gonna walk." And like I held, I probably had him for I don't know, it's only 30 seconds, but it felt like a long time. And he's like, "All right, fuck this, whatever." And I was like, "All right." And I was like, it's just a terrible feeling. So I'm like, I hope he doesn't turn around and just beat the shit out of me right now.
And I let you go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like a gentleman's handshake, like in the middle of a fight.
Looks like we're at a stalemate here.
Yeah, that he doesn't just re-engage. I let him go, and he actually walks out. And during that, the girl like run into the bathroom. These are just studio apartments, so it's just a bathroom in the back, her room, and it's like a living room, but nothing's partitioned off. And she's just like crying in there. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? I'm so I don't even know if I caused that. Like I don't know what is happening right now. I got zero idea. And she's like, ooh, like in the fucking bathroom. I was like, all right. I was like, well, look, I'm going to walk out of your apartment. I'm going to lock the door from the inside, though. So I hope you're okay. I'm sorry if I just made that happen. I don't know what just happened. And so I walk up over, but I'm not, like, juiced up on fucking adrenaline, basically. And like, I wait, like, 20 minutes. I don't hear any knocks or anything from another door. So I was like, okay. Well, I go in and knock on the door, and I was like, hey. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what just happened. Like, I got zero idea what just happened. And she's like, no, it's okay. It's all good. And I was like, are you safe? Or like, are you okay? Like, what happened? She's like, oh, it's, whatever. So I go back. I end up falling asleep. A few days later, like, I was just having, like, either a beer, like a whiskey, like, right up on my little front porch.
Yeah.
And then she drives in with that guy. They were, like, dating or something like that. And I was like,
how it goes.
Yeah, and she stuck with him after that. And the guy walks up and he's like, hey, man, I'm sorry about that. And I was like, you're fine, dude. Like, I don't know. Like,
So what did you learn from the whole situation?
dude, that people make terrible dating choices, I guess. I don't know. It's the dumbest. Why would you stay with that shit? It's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard.
Mind your business.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but like it's literally 1:30 in the morning and a guy flips a coffee table with the door open and the lights off.
No, I mean I respect that because I'm definitely I just turn the other cheek.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm assuming the guy was just super drunk. But I mean, I don't know any guy that does that and isn't kind of an abusive asshole. But
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes they like that, or they don't like it, but they're fucked up, so they like it.
well, yeah, I mean, it's like a guy that stays with a terrible girl or a girl that stays with a terrible guy. Mm-hmm. Like
Or
there's
they
something
could both
in them.
be terrible.
Yeah, 100, or it can be completely codependent, where it's just shit across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a weird thing. I've never understood that. Like the older you get, the more you meet people that are in shitty relationships, and they're just miserable, but they're too scared to do anything about it. And I've never gotten that. Where it's like I broke off my engagement, and it wasn't.
You broke it off?
Yeah, I broke it off.
No.
But it was because she was just. It wasn't abusive or anything, but there's like no emotional stability, like at all. Anything happened. Like we got in a fight one time. So we had a 2-floor little apartment townhouse, right? And I'd had like a glass or two of whiskey. I was just like laying on the couch, and I just wanted to finish an episode. She was going to sleep. She had to wake up a little bit earlier than me. And so before she went to sleep, she was like, hey, can you turn off the lights or whatever? I was like, no, for sure. But then I like fell asleep on the couch for like a second, and I woke up, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go up to bed. I was just super tired. And I was like half asleep. I go to sleep, and I'd forgotten to turn off a lamp. And she started like a 4-hour fight over how much I didn't listen to her or care about how she felt about it. And I was like, it's a fucking lamp. I'm sorry. Like it's like that kind of
But
shit.
what did the lamp represent?
Oh,
Yeah,
what is much, dude. It represented her integrity apparently. And I couldn't. And that was like one of like 50 examples. And at a certain point, I was like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life like this. And I did all the things where it's like
It's never about the trivial thing.
No,
it's always
no.
about like 30 different things that you ignored or didn't even know.
No, for
and
sure.
she never made like communication. For it.
They never say
They
anything.
never say it
dude.
at the time until it's like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like, well, why the fuck did you turn that lamp off?
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's like, then they're going to tell you about 30 other things that happened.
Yeah.
In the previous thing you paid no attention to.
Dude, and that was like what would happen, and it was a very weird thing because like if I get in an argument in a relationship, like I just want to resolve the relationship. Like I'm really not like the guy that's like I'm gonna win this shit or whatever. I'm like, hey, let me know how you're feeling, and I can, if I can understand that, then I can say no, hey, I get you, or hey, I totally get that. This is where I was coming from, just so you get where I'm coming from.
That's just a logical perspective, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like I genuinely care.
So it brings me back to the point of the trans women.
Is that were we talking about that a second ago?
The one from your Bumble
Oh, you mean the one that liked me on Bumble?
that you were like, I like it. Wait, what?
Shut the fuck up, dude. You were literally like, I'd hit that and I got a girl.
Oh, dude, never. But I'm telling you, man, they're sneaky, dude. But they're also like probably cool like dudes in a lot of ways. And they're also probably hotter than most people's girlfriends.
You seem like you spent some time thinking about it. Like, maybe.
Dude, I'm still scarred from when I was a kid. I watched Maury, and you know how every so often they'd have like the freak show. And one of the episodes, they bring out like 25 models, and they're like, "Is it a guy or a girl?" And then you can't tell.
That was a very common thing. I remember that.
Dude, I was like,
I feel like they're just trying to make guys feel like shit.
no, dude. Once even if they're not, if you throw the idea out there, you'll start looking at their jawline a little bit differently.
Normally, you can tell. Like
Sometimes.
Yeah, like normally, like I've done all the dating apps over time, and like you start swiping, and you're like, yeah, definitely trans or whatever, but Dude, the one, like, this was literally, all right, so for the people that watch real quick before they get ideas, was I was on Bumble, and somebody had, like, liked me, and I could see that they liked me. And like, at first I was like, oh, very attractive person. And it looked, I mean, more like a woman than most women look like.
That's what I'm saying.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, but the first line is, like, I'm a trans woman. And I was like, holy shit. Like, the surgeries have gotten good. They've gotten... We didn't cure cancer, but they figured out how to make a man look like a woman better than like most women look. It's insane.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But then you're like, well, why is it fucked up? And you're like, I know it's wrong, but you can't pinpoint it.
Yeah, well, it's just like I don't know if it's wrong. It's like it's just a thing that I can't get on board with. Right. But all right, so this is I don't know. Maybe I'll get in trouble with this. This is actually true though. But like with like so guys that get like actually get the post-op surgery where they remove the penis, you literally have to have continual practice and procedures because otherwise the surgically created vagina closes up like a wound would.
Wow.
That's not a joke. This also isn't like some speculation. This is just medically speaking.
Okay.
It will close up as if it was a wound because you literally bored a hole into a body that has DNA saying that they should have a penis.
That needs to heal that.
Yeah, because it views it as an injury. That's how fucking like, and that's a rough life to live, dude. I don't know how anybody does that.
That's true.
I mean, you got to have some strong convictions to go through with it.
You got to really believe
live that.
Like,
yeah.
That's why hats off to them, you know?
Yeah, man. I got no hate in it. I mean, I don't necessarily understand it, but like I got no hate for anybody that does whatever they do and it doesn't affect me.
I think it's the biggest issue with people is like the forcing it upon or the ideas upon
I don't like
kids
that
are like not even old enough to jerk off yet.
Yeah,
you know? Like at least bust a nut once.
Well, I don't know if this would transition or whatever. But I just saw this clip today, and it was Nickelodeon posted this. I don't know.
Nickelodeon.
Will this skip? Yeah. So this is a clip that Nickelodeon post, and it's a drag queen doing a song or whatever about LGBTQ, but for Nickelodeon, for like children. And from my side, I'm like, I don't care, but like I don't think Nickelodeon should be teaching kids about sex. Dan Schneider. Like, is it fair to say that? Like, well, maybe public, like, children's channels probably shouldn't be talking about sex.
Shouldn't be the one at the forefront of sexual education.
Have you seen recent photos of Amanda Bynes?
Yeah.
She's gone,
dude. Jesus fuck.
Like, that's not her. She looks trans.
Have you seen Britney Spears since she got out of the parental control?
Yeah.
She's not. She's like dancing with knives and shit.
Yeah.
Like 3 days after she was posting topless photos of herself.
Yeah,
like it was
just
like
dancing so weird too.
Yeah,
not even like anything.
No, it's like you need meds.
Yeah, you know, you might have needed to be in that conservatorship.
So I don't know if this. This is Nickelodeon. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I like the ending. Oh, color.
Yeah. It's a white trans person being like, and black and brown.
And color.
Trans of color.
I mean,
that's amazing.
It's wild though. Like that's like, dude, 4-year-olds watch that, and it's like I don't know if we need to be making a 4-year-old question their identity because
should that be on the parents though for like having that on? You know? Like,
yeah, but at the same, yes, 100%. Well, all right. So this is a good question. So, like, I've met now. You know, I'm 30, so I'm meeting a lot of people that are now parents and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, it's so tough because I got to keep the technology away and whatever. It's like, we had a computer as a kid. My parents just said you get 30 minutes or an hour on it, and then you get out in the street and go play with the neighborhood kids. Like, that's it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, they talk about the iPad kids.
Maybe.
With an iPad, put the fucking pad away.
Yeah.
It's not, why are you letting your kid have unfettered access to the World Wide Web? There's jihadist videos that they can find on Google, no problem. It's like, why would you?
Does anyone even need an iPad, though?
No,
like, it doesn't serve any purpose.
It really doesn't. It's just another screen to put in front of your face.
I've heard of, my girlfriend was telling me about someone she knows, like their kid's like 5 or 6 now and can't even talk because like they've been on the iPad, like they've grown up on the iPad.
Yeah.
They just grunt.
Yeah.
Like we're getting stupid. We're getting
Dude,
stupid.
So that ex of mine, she used to nanny a kid. He's a sweet kid, but raised with a single mom, and just didn't have enough parenting or discipline. And so like I'd come over, and I love the kid. Like me and him got along great, but like he was like 6 or something like that, and I was trying to get him to like learn how to use like a skateboard or do anything, and he was scared of fucking everything. Yeah. And every time I would come up over to the house, he was on an iPad.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" Wouldn't look over.
Yeah.
"Hey buddy, what's going on?" Wouldn't look over. Behind him, "Hey, how are you doing?" Glued to just like Paw Patrol. And I'm like, "You're 6, man. Like, you shouldn't be still watching Paw Patrol at 6. Like, have you guys seen what cartoons are like now?
I've seen I was watching a video, I think it was a TikTok. It was saying like Coco Melon, which is one that little kids watch.
Look, if you're 2 or
like,
3, sure. But if
like,
you're like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like you should not be watching.
But no,
Paw Patrol and Coco Melon.
It's even worse. I think the younger kids watching that Coco Melon, they develop some form of autism from like all the lights and whatever the fuck, the way that it's set up, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I read like this whole like paragraph on it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that one specifically, but I don't think any of it, like none of it makes sense, because like us as kids, like there was like ranges, you like kind of phased into different cartoons as you grew up.
Yeah.
So you started with XYZ. I don't know, if you're like 6 or 7, it's like Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then it's like Teen Titans, and it just progressively grows.
It was it had like a way of going about, because the really young ones were like educational based.
Yes.
Like, so you watch like Sesame Street, it'd be like the count, and it'd be like,
it's like a child.
At least,
colors mean this.
At least with the kid cartoons, they subtly hit the sexual innuendos. Now they're just putting it right out there, huh?
Yeah, well, like back in the day, so all right,
like it was always in there.
All right, so that's the difference. Though. No, so that's actually a good fucking point. Back in the day, all the kids' cartoons, all of them for whatever reason had some scandals where the executive producer was like a pedophile.
You ever see clips though? Now
they just put it on screen.
Yeah,
like that's the difference. Now it's just like,
hiding.
hey, check this shit out, and it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. Yes, ultimately, it probably falls on the parents for like, because obviously there's a market for this, but it also is like a bigger problem probably with society, right? Like you got so many people being single parents, you're so busy working, it's so hard to even just keep a roof over your head that like you need the iPad and you need all these other things to keep the kid distracted.
No, I mean I get it. It's not an easy setup.
So, I mean that's also another problem with it, but I mean,
well, that's
here's the thing. Here's the thing about predators and people like that is there's no, you know how like we've been in relationships, you've been engaged, you just don't feel like fucking tonight. They always seem like they're trying to fuck. You know what I mean?
Predators?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, well, they're sexual deviants. I like how Adam's like, I would love to get with the predator that just likes of-age people.
You never
unlock the code, bro.
You never met a pedophile who's just like, I'm not into it tonight.
No, yeah.
I already jerked off.
There's a Louis, or did you ever see the Louis joke where he's on SNL, and he's like, so he's on Saturday Night Live, when it's like the most Saturday Night Live. Like this was like 2020, 2021. And he's making a joke about how, like, he's like, they ruined their lives for it. Yeah. So it's got to be at least good for them. like it's got to be pretty good.
They outweighed it, and they're like, you know what?
It is the worst thing that you could do. Like you can get chemically castrated, you get completely shunned from all society. It's viewed as worse than murder, and they still do it.
Yeah, what's that joke you said you saw? You sent it to me, too. It was like, when you get rich. You're like, finally, now I can do what I've always wanted.
That stand-up clip?
Yeah, the stand-up clip.
Yeah, this dude had a great bit. He's talking about like Jared from Subway and R. Kelly. He's like, finally, now I can do what I really love.
Yeah, when he gets access to the money.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize, because like I knew that Jared from Subway had obviously done some bad stuff, and I knew it was like child porn or whatever. Dude, they found thousands of hours of it on him.
It was like a ridiculous
amount.
And
apparently there's like emails where he was sending it to the people, and he's like, yeah, can I get like 2 of these? I want 4 of these. I want this one with Asian. I want this one. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well,
dude.
I mean, he was the spokesman for Subway.
He was building it like a foot long.
Yeah. I was like, what is it, $5 a clip? God, how many fucking subs do you got to sell, Jared? Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. He only wanted half of it toasted.
Oh my god. He wanted none of it toasted, dude. He wanted the fucking cold cut sub, no cheese.
Jesus fucking
Christ,
Christ,
dude. It was disgusting, man.
Man, pedophiles, dude.
Well, yeah, it's just well, you knew my story about that. The last roommate I had that I lived with found out like right before I left that he was like a convicted. He like told me he was a year younger than me and shit. Turns out he was like 40 years old.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, the last guy I lived with.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk. I guess we can't use names or whatever right now.
No. Yeah, but he well, I got evicted, so I was looking for somewhere to live.
Yeah, because I knew you were couch surfing for a while, right?
Yeah, my friend was like, my friend's looking for someone, and the dude was just like, it was what it was.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, fuck it, all right. And then it was just, I never really talked to him. He was my roommate, but I was like, and he was like, we have an agreement. You don't go in my room. I don't go in your room. I was like, yeah.
Is he a comedian?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, dude. Yeah, he told me he was.
Dude, that guy was going into your room. You didn't go into his, but he was going.
No.
You were knocked out. And he's like,
you know what's funny is when I told my mom that. When I told my mom that, she's like, "Well, you're not one of his targets, at least." And so
I think, yeah. I mean, I think he has a preference, but I think everybody's a predator's target. You know?
No, dude. The serial killers, man. They wanted who they wanted.
Specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
You tell yourself.
Jeffrey
that,
Dahmer
buddy.
didn't go for women, man.
Yeah. How many mornings did you wake up and you're like, I feel
Nothing.
dirty.
Jesus.
Why do I took a shower last night, but I need to take another.
I felt dirty.
odd.
It was a weird house though because I moved in and it was I don't have a lot of stuff and like if I move into a place I'll keep it clean, but this shit was so dirty. I never cleaned it. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just here until I can leave.
Yeah.
And then so it was weird. The first red flag was like a couple months in, the doorbell rang and I was like, I'm not answering that. We don't answer doorbells anymore.
Yeah.
And then it was like some police officer, like an investigator for like child sex crimes, left his business card, and I was just like,
Well, that's not good.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's weird.
This can't be me. So.
Well, my guess is I just thought like, oh, he must be going door to door. Like I really wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then it was weird because he told me his name, but then like when I would send him PayPal, because you can't lie on PayPal what your name is or Cash App. Always is. And I was like, I'm thinking it's me being an idiot. Like, oh, I probably didn't listen.
Yeah.
I swear this was his name though. And then my homie was like, bro, you got to get out of that house.
Yeah.
He like showed me like, dude was 40 years old. He was like, yeah, he's a weirdo, man.
Jesus
But
Christ.
once he told me, I was like, oh fuck. There were signs.
Yeah.
I was not thinking about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh yeah, this guy's totally,
That's wild, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I just left. I didn't even say a word. I
Yeah.
just like packed my shit up. And
Well,
left.
so I think that's what a lot of people get wrong. Is like there's a small subset of people that are fucking psychos.
Yeah.
And they fuck with a lot of people. And so like it always makes me sad, but like most girls that I've dated, at some point or another, they've had some terrible experience. I've lived in 7 states now. I've met a lot of people that I'm like, I could definitely see your life going downhill. Like, how many people have their head on really straight? Not that many. Especially now. So this isn't funny, but I've been thinking about it, especially since like getting out of like an engagement and all this kind of stuff. The biggest thing that I found is like I felt like at a certain point, the person I was with like wasn't conscious like anymore. It was all just reaction. It was like she'd live on TikTok, reality TV, like all, and it wasn't like that at the beginning, but she created like something. She struggled with anxiety and a lot of other kind of stuff. And it was a tough thing to try to go through. But the more people I meet, the more I'm like, how many people do you know that are in relationships and you're like, dude, you guys are fighting all the time. Why can't you just at some point be like, hey, this is actually how I feel. This is how I feel. I care and love about you. Let's figure this shit out.
Do you know that anxiety is actually healthy to have? You're supposed to have anxiety.
Yes, but there is damaging levels of anxiety. Like people that can't handle it.
Or is it because they've been offered solutions to get away from pain temporarily that now they're so accustomed to it that that's what they feel needs to happen every time they feel some sort of ounce of uncomfortability, and that's grown
what
into,
leads to drug addiction.
Well, yeah,
like, yeah.
I mean, but
that's unhealthy then.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like anxiety in itself is not bad. Anxiety is like an alert
you're
trying to
supposed
say
to
like,
have it.
hey, I need to think about this. But also the ability to confront anxiety is super important because it's like everybody feels anxiety to some degree or another.
Well, yeah, but there's a huge business in masking it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the
Oh, you mean the pharmaceutical industry?
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, dude. You just open up the fucking you got this one and this one. I was kind of hoping you'd say this one too.
Yeah, the easy way out.
Yeah, for
Dude,
sure.
the easy way out's always there for everything. Mm-hmm. But
Oh, dude, taking pills is fun. Getting into Gam's medicine cabinet.
yeah. What's the best pill that you've had?
I don't know, probably vitamin C,
Yeah.
probably fish oils.
Yeah,
There it is.
little vitamin B12.
Ashwagandha.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking Tonkat Ali right now, and it's working great.
There you go.
There's these things they sell at Fry's, so maybe they sell it at all Kroger's nationwide, but it's called Addy. It's usually at the front counter. Pretty good. It's like
Oh, is that like the over the shelf Adderall thing? Mm-hmm. I feel like I've seen that at a Fry's recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I have a bottle of it over there.
it's pretty good.
You buy like the bottle? Does it
I
work
bought
almost
the
like
bottle.
Adderall, or what is it?
No.
No, but
I thought it was supposed to be like an over the counter Adderall.
It's just like a bunch of caffeine and like mushroom extract. So kind of like they have the mushroom pills that
Yeah.
supposed to. It's like that. It's just stuff to keep you like awake and alert.
I take mushroom coffee. In fact, they're one of these sponsors. Rise coffee, mushroom coffee, super good, dude.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
really good,
It kind
actually.
of tastes like dirt, but like the effects of it actually really, like out of anything I've ever tried that's not pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing I've had.
Nice. Okay. I've been doing Tonkat Ali. I watched Andrew Huberman, and I've been lifting for like 10 years, and I was plateauing for years. Like I could not get past it, and I started taking it, and it's known to actually like naturally increase testosterone boost. Mm-hmm. And unless it's a pure placebo, which could be it. Sure. It's worked. Like I've hit PRs on everything. Like doing almost the same. Like I've worked a little bit harder maybe.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is like I'd get to the point to where like I couldn't normally get another rep in.
Yeah.
I can get like one or two more.
There you go.
And like all the weights are like lifting up. But it's just a root. That's it. It's just a ground root of like a long jack.
I'm pretty sure that there is cures and simple fixes for a lot of things. They just like called it Chinese medicine instead of just like medicine.
It literally, when I was like because I looked at like meta-analysis on this because I don't take anything normally. Like the only thing I would take pre-workout before I went, which is mostly just caffeine, and it's like been used in Western medicine for the last Eastern medicine. For
you don't
5,000 years.
You don't think God put everything here for a reason? It's like, oh yeah, this does this.
Yeah.
This does this. Like any of the industries like that have been like started for noble cause. Like we gotta find a cure for cancer, or AIDS. It's like
I always forget you're a devout Christian too.
But what if we didn't?
what if we didn't what?
Find a cure.
Find a cure?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things we don't have cures for.
Well, they are, but like no. Yeah, but no.
You think there's a cure for? Well, I mean that we know of yet.
I think people have found it.
You think they have the cure for cancer and they're holding it back?
Yeah, I think Dr. Sebi put out a book on how to cure cancer. It's like all through, I think it's getting rid of like mucus and all that. And
that was like the main point of it. Just get rid of.
Well, I get sinus problems, so maybe fucking pass that info along, dog.
Well, like, a lot of the meat that we consume. I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but yeah, the meat we consume is just fucking terrible for you. But it's,
that's so weird because whenever I have health advice, I always text you and I'm like, "Hey, what should I do about this?"
Yeah, right. Everyone's quick. Everyone's quick to have health advice whenever they come across them.
Yeah.
Like, well, bro, you should be doing this.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, dude, from just simple, I guess, observation of what else I've seen in the world, like everything else is monetized and swayed away from what. Like greed basically takes over in a sense of like, man, this cancer industry that was like $3 billion. Where's the money in just being like
fixing it?
Here's this plant that you could grow in your house. And like,
yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't think there's any like pure. Look, I mean, I think disease to a degree is like it can be genetic.
Well, did people in the 1600s die from cancer? Was that a thing?
Yeah, I mean they would, but it was most people died before that though.
Yeah, from a small cut in the hand.
Yeah, from like a basic infection.
Yeah. So or like a fever.
Yeah. No, it's such a good point because like this is like my thing. Like I've dated some girls where they're like, you're almost like Chris from like Parks and Recreation. Like, you know the guy that's I'm so happy or whatever. Which I don't think is like a good act, but I tend to be very positive. But I think I'm like a very positive realist or whatever, where it's like whenever I'm like down, or I feel like I'm like just focusing on like bullshit all the
Yeah.
time. I was somewhat fortunate in that like I got to go to places like deep in the Peruvian jungle or like Colombia and stuff as a kid because my dad's a missionary.
Yeah.
And sorry, pops, for all the cursing, but so that's pretty much. But I got to see like all these spots where these people's lives are way different, and then you can take it to another level. Like I think it was in the late 1800s, 90% of the world were serfs, which was borderline slaves.
Yeah.
And we're like 120 years past that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking good in a lot of areas. Like,
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you have AC and a freezer, you've got more access to comfort than a fucking king did back in the day.
That's
Outside
true.
of like concubines or some shit like that, but
Yeah.
but I think one of the biggest things that we're missing, I think this is why a lot of people deal with like anxiety, depression, all this kind of stuff, is they're just benchmarking their life off of the people with the best lives in the world.
Oh, so social media.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so rather than looking at it as like I have the best life that basically anybody's ever had in all of human history, which is true. I mean, dude, we can go to a corner market and grab whatever food we want.
Yeah.
Or do anything like that. You have access to all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the whatever the fuck you
I
want.
have weed in a pen right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right now. Yeah. You're currently high.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that back then.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like at all. Like a bad storm would come through and half your village would get fucked up. Like
Yeah.
there's
Or a drought.
Yeah. There's a great bit by Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, like when he actually did stand up, and the bit was like I was talking to my dad and he's like, I'm so sorry, son. I gave birth to you at the worst time of the world and whatever. And he's like, no, you didn't. It's the best it's ever been. He's like, because back in the day, your entire village could get like plundered and raped, and people would be like, what'd you expect? It's nighttime.
Yeah.
And that's
just
like
the
that would happen,
explanation.
dude. Yeah, exactly. Like that's it. Like that
Man
doesn't
is
really happen.
Only depressed because he's had the dwelling to think about his own consciousness.
Goddamn, Socrates.
Sigmund Freud, civilization is discontent.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, I think that part's true.
That's gonna wrap it up. We have to get to House of Comedy for another gig, but dude, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Where can they find you on social media?
On Instagram, I'm not Adam Black, but I am. But that's the handle. That's pretty much it. I don't really do a lot of other stuff. But
Okay,
thank you, man.
I will put it in the show notes for everyone. But thanks for coming on, bro, and good luck with your move to Texas.
I appreciate it, Poppy. I'll see you soon.
Erm.